Hey folks, Rue here. Just wanted to let you know that this episode of Ruel's Running Podcast is sponsored by Health IQ, an insurance company that helps health-conscious people get a special life insurance rates. I don't know why I said especial, but Health IQ can save customers up to 33% because physically active people have a 56% lower risk of heart disease, 20% lower risk of cancer, and 58% lower risk of diabetes compared to people who are inactive. So, what does that mean? It means later on in the show, I'll tell you a little bit more, but just feel rest assured that Health IQ uses science and data to secure lower rates on life insurance for health-conscious people like yourself. You know, you, the runner, the cyclist, the strength trainer, you know, the acrobat, the gymnast, somebody who's just active and, takes care of themselves. You know, they want to take that data into consideration so that you can maximize your life insurance buying capabilities. That's the way I'm going to put it, and I'm sticking to it. And remember, to see if you qualify, get your free quote today at healthiq.com/RUEL. That's healthiq.com/RUEL, or mention the promo code RUEL. That's RUEL when you talk to a Health IQ agent. On with the show.
Podcasting from somewhere in the San Francisco Bay Area, the birthplace of Bruce Lee, the iPhone, and the bendy straw. This is Ruel's Running Podcast, a podcast about running, health, family, play, and an NSNG lifestyle. And now, here's your host, Ruel.
There was a dream a million miles away. There was fire in
Amazon.com. You know, I won't be surprised if more and more stuff that I shop for, buy, and get shipped to my home comes from Amazon. It's just a reality, right? And if this is your reality, go to ruelsrunning.com, click through to the Amazon banner to get to Amazon. Why am I asking you to do so? Well, it is a no-cost-to-you way. If you like listening to Ruel's Running Podcast, it is a way that you can help the show out without spending more than you've already spent while shopping at the good folks at Amazon.com. So help us out. Go to ruelsrunning.com, click through to the Amazon.com site, and shop, connect, and enjoy. Hey everybody, welcome to Ruel's Running Podcast. I'm your host, Ruel Abadam. What's cooking? What's going on? What's going down? What's going on in your world? Yep, it's me, roving reporter. This is how I roll. I promise when I do the guest interviews, they're not going to be out on the road so that I could get better audio quality. And so that's just me saying that I still have not figured out a way to do guest recordings in a mobile fashion, on the go, in the car like I am right now. And I guess that's a good thing. So if you are a return listener, welcome back. Glad you're back. If you are a new listener, welcome. Hope you enjoy the show. Hope you stick around. So just a little background, I am recording on the Boss Jock Studio app. It's for the iPhone. And it's been handy for quite a while. I'm able to just do the basic recording of the episode. I could get fancy. I could mix in, certain sounds and stuff, like this. Oh, can you hear that? Maybe not. Maybe you did. I just realized, because I'm also using the AirPods, that this app does not support the output that goes into the AirPods. Just the plug-in jack earpods. So yeah, so if you heard something, you heard something. Yeah, and there's also this, right? And there's also this. Yeah. So, that's how I'm rolling. I'm on an iPhone 7 Plus with a Boss Jock Studio app that I bought. It's inexpensive, but allows me to do this thing, and I'm using the AirPods. So the AirPods are great. They do pick up a lot of the road noise, and I'm not able to pull the mic closer to my mouth to try to have focus on my audio the same way I was able to do previously with the standard wired earpods. But that's what it is. I do my best to try and clean up the episodes, but sometimes there's only so much I could do, and we just roll with it. So that's behind the scenes. I've been testing out recording with callers using Zoom. I recently got on a call with Lonnie Beecham and Rebecca Paulson. So they're friends of the show. Lonnie's been on at multiple times as a guest. I should just call him like a co-host on those particular episodes. And Rebecca has been on. She was on a sort of a thank you episode where I asked former guests and listeners and friends to dial in, say a few words. I think it was sort of like a New Year sort of episode, perhaps. But yeah, that was what I remember. So I had Lonnie and Rebecca on just to test out the Zoom connection, and it's neat. I want to do it more and more, and I'll play a little bit of that later on, and so you can know who I'm talking about. And it's basically, what is an indoor environmentalist, Lonnie, and a kindergarten teacher, Rebecca, and a software tester, me, have in common? And somehow we make it. We have been able to we've been blessed to get to know each other. What we have in common is the NSNG community. Vinnie Tortorich's No Sugar No Grains. That whole community, we all got to know each other through that community, and we've known each other for quite a while, and love to be able to get these Lonnie and Rebecca on as much as possible as schedule permits, and just have a good time at it. So yeah, I am due to do a race report episode, and it'll probably be released before this episode, I think, or after this episode, I think. Either way, that's gonna happen. Pretty awesome. So what's been cooking, guys? What's been cooking? I did a flurry of cooking. Nothing new, but when you're doing large amounts, I can't help but look back and say, okay, I kind of got a handle on this. Yesterday, I got the bone broth going. At the same time, I had the vegetables chopped for the while I was in the processing of cleaning and cutting up a head of cauliflower, not broccoli, cauliflower, I paused the mic for a bit. While I was in the process, once I had the cutting board out and I was cleaning up and cutting up the cauliflower, I also had to dice up some onions. I diced up some extra onions, and not so much dice, but I chopped up some extra onions on top of that, and cut up some carrots and celery so I can get all the veggies going for both the cauliflower rice and for the bone broth, the beef bone broth. So I had that going on, and once that was pretty much set. I had room enough to cut up a few more onions and wedge a lemon and produce a few slices as I seasoned and prepped the whole chicken for roasting on the Instant Pot. The beef bone broth was on a 6-quart, and the chicken was in the 8-quart. So I had the cauliflower rice all riced out and onions for that thing sauteed, and I had mixed in the riced cauliflower and had that going. And it had a little bit of a coconut butter and olive oil, salt and pepper seasoning. Didn't do the cauliflower fried rice this time. I mean, the bone broth was quick and easy. Threw all the vegetables and the bones in with the typical herbs, the tarragon, the rosemary, the thyme, the basil, not basil, the bay leaf, some garlic powder, salt and pepper, a lot of salt, a cap full of apple cider vinegar, and then dumped in the water. Oh, and all the turmeric we had left, I added that to the shopping list. Alexa, add turmeric to the shopping list. So that was set it. I just set that, so I had to just set it and forget it. The bird needed some extra work, so had the Instant Pot on saute mode, got the pot nice and hot, threw in some bacon grease in it, and after seasoning the bird, I browned it about, 7 or 8 minutes on each side. And what did I do with the onions and the lemon wedges? I shoved it in the cavity of the bird, seasoned it inside and out. After I browned each side, I pulled the bird out, placed in the trivet, and put the bird over it so that the bird is no longer in direct contact with the heated surface. And before I put the lid on, I put about 1/4 of a cup of broth. Not the new broth, but the former broth. Had leftovers from the previous batch. Then set that. The bird goes in after browning it. It'll go in for. I didn't want to reference any particular recipes. I just winged it and I said I'll put it in for 45 minutes at a pressure cook. So that did that. That did the job. And the bone broth, I'll do it for, I think I did it for like 60 minutes. So that was 60 minutes in the Instant Pot. And cauliflower rice was done at some point, and somewhere in between that mix, prepping lunches for the week. I was also cooking breakfast. Did 8 strips of bacon on a cast iron pan and did 3 eggs afterwards in the same fat that had rendered off the bacon, and all was good. Oh yeah, and had my Pure Coffee Club coffee in the background with a splash of heavy cream. The Athletic blend, I love it. You would too. You should get yours. That's purecoffeeclub.com. Yeah, that's what's been cooking, and it's a lot. But if you have the ingredients and the equipment and really simple recipes, you can do a lot. So you don't have to feel like you need to spend at a restaurant every lunch period, out on a work day. I don't pack the food. It's primarily for my wife. She'll have a small little thermos with the broth, and she has 2 glass containers with lids that she'll put. One will have the cauliflower rice. The other would have, like, say, a drumstick and a thigh with some of the rendered liquid from roasting the bird in the Instant Pot. And what else would she bring? She'll bring in some nuts, some almonds. I think she's packing a couple Brazil nuts now, and she keeps a small baggie of sea salt. And I also whip up. It was I previously I whipped up a whole pitcher of a smoothie on the Vitamix, and that's typically, a little bit of apple, a little bit of banana, a bunch of blueberries, frozen blueberries, some fresh strawberries that I froze up, and then a ton of kale. The kale will either be fresh or frozen after buying fresh. I like to, with some of these fruits and a lot of the greens, if I have them in the fridge for a certain amount of time, at some point I'll just clean them up, shake them out, and stick them in the freezer. That way, they don't go bad. And when I make a smoothie anyways, the extra cold on any one of these this produce is beneficial. So what else do I add? I'll add coconut milk, coconut oil, cinnamon, chia seeds, water, and I'll throw in some almonds, and if they're available, some Brazil nuts, and that's it. That'll be all whizzed up. Oh, some ice, and I'll whiz that up. It'll make a whole pitcher of smoothie. So, she'll be, she's not a coffee drinker like I am, so what she'll do is she'll trickle a smoothie on the commute, and lunchtime, she'll have her broth and her chicken and her cauliflower rice, and that's basically how she rolls. And if she needs a snack, she has those nuts, and good to go. Meanwhile, what do? I'll trickle coffee and heavy cream, and then if lunch rolls around, I'll bypass the lunch period, and if I want to eat something, I'll go find a fat burger to bring into the office, and try to make folks jealous. And if not, depending on what I need, depending on the conditions, and depending on what I need to do, I may go for a short run to get out. And that's that. Awesome. Man. And I'll continue on with things around running and things around family and maybe some health. Yeah, definitely I will in a bit. Let me cut this off. Sweet. Health IQ rated 9.6 out of 10 on Trustpilot. Customers love them. Ryan Hall, the fastest marathoner in American history and the only United States athlete to break the 1 hour time for the half marathon. This is what he has to say about Health IQ. Quote, "It's perfect because it's made for people like me with a healthy, active lifestyle," unquote. The lower heart rates that many pro athletes have can sometimes negatively affect insurance rates. Hall liked the fact that Health IQ used this active lifestyle as an asset in getting a good life insurance rate rather than it being a detriment. He commented that he appreciated how Health IQ made the process easy and simple for him, given how limited his time already was. Health IQ is the fastest growing life insurance company with over $5 billion in coverage. So, like saving money on your car insurance for being a good driver, Health IQ saves you money on your life insurance for living a health-conscious lifestyle. To see if you qualify, get your free quote today at healthiq.com/Ruel or mention the promo code RUEL when you talk to a Health IQ agent today.
Hey, Rebecca.
Hi, Ruel.
How are you?
I'm surviving. How you doing?
So far, so good. Just
Apparently, this just informed me that it's being recorded.
Yeah, I just tapped record.
Okay.
In case anything interesting comes
Great.
up. We're just hanging out. We're not. This isn't an interview or anything like that. We're just hanging out.
And I was just telling Ruel that while you're off today.
Oh, yeah.
That's all you've missed.
Are you guys hearing me okay? Because I have problems with these earbuds.
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll tell you when you're when you suck, when you're sounding like a tin can rattling.
I know. I hate that. I got to get those your wireless buds.
Yeah. This is a great test for the switching over to Zoom rather than using Skype for interviews and whatnot for the podcast.
It's really clear from my end right now.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, and it's recording. It's just doing its thing. Wow.
So it makes it easy on your end. You just plug it in and it's ready to go.
Yeah, it's the Skype thing has been a pain point as far as trying to get folks on the podcast. Quality is always Skypey and whatnot.
And heaven forbid Anna and Vinny figure it out. Jackie Nichols, she's a doctor, and her husband Walt is a Skype engineer, and they've reached out to me like, I will walk them through that. I can make that perfect, and he's never done it.
Now maybe we'll go to that.
Well, didn't he say I don't know. I thought he
said something about it.
Yeah.
I'm making coffee. Okay.
Making coffee. Yeah. My lifeline. I was telling Lonnie, I said, someday, Ruel, I'm coming up there and just to grab coffee with you.
All right. Okay.
My friend lives in Portola.
In San Francisco?
He also has a place in San Francisco too. So when he works over there, which is like a half hour from his house, he'll stay there instead.
Wow. Okay.
You need a few houses.
Yeah. Lucky him.
Just one in Portola, it sounds like.
Portola Valley is, you know Portola, right?
It sounds familiar. I'm not paying attention anymore to locations. I'm living on the internet now. All I see is bits and bytes, zeros and ones.
I had made a joke. I said, man, I couldn't, he had said, why don't you move here? I said, I couldn't afford a cardboard box on the street corner. He said, you couldn't afford to rent it, sweetie. It just sucks.
It's the sad truth. Yeah.
Well, Portola is like, I guess the head of Google lives there, and whatever. It's a little expensive.
Yeah,
but Northern California is.
Yeah, my wife and I are making more than we've ever made, in our careers.
Yeah.
But it net, it's still like we're living out of a cardboard box.
Now, teacher salary, couldn't do it.
Yeah. And that's why I podcast so that I can make all the big bucks.
Oh yeah,
sounds like it.
I've tried to throw some money your way for the podcast, but apparently my Amazon purchases aren't exactly wealthy enough.
Oh yeah, well that's that. The Amazon stuff is keeping me afloat, and Lonnie's been hiring me here and there, so that stuff's been helping a lot. I can afford 2 cardboard boxes now.
Yay!
Actually, Rebecca, it's more like
the kid.
He tinkers with my website whenever he needs money.
Oh, I get it. I like that idea.
It's like, hey, Lonnie, I added a period to that sentence. I'm going to charge you.
That's a $50 period.
Yeah.
I like that. I'm going to have to start charging for things now. Okay, let's see.
Yeah, hey, Ruel, you need to help her get an online job making money.
Yeah, because I am the expert.
Yeah, well, I'm doing really well here. I just put, coffee filter in there without the coffee bucket. Yay! Doing well this morning.
So hey, Rebecca, how are things in your world?
Yeah, things are pretty chaotic right now, but hopefully they'll start to calm down a little bit and we can just kind of move on here. Looking forward to getting this weekend over with, but it'll be good to be with family, of course. Family.
Yeah.
But, okay. I don't know. Nothing much. I'm in that fight for cheese with Kurt and failing miserably. So,
how are things in the profession?
In the profession,
Mm-hmm.
I have a group of kids this year that are they're cute, but they struggle all the time. Really, really low academically. So we're trying to get them where they need to be, and it's going to be just a fight to the last day of school, just to get them ready for first grade. I wish they were a little bit more prepared.
Wow,
but,
that's awesome.
I just keep plugging away. 21 different little personalities. At least they have a low amount of students this year. It's not 26, 28, 21 is pretty good. It's been consistent. So 21 little 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds now.
So it's you versus 21, or do you have like volunteers and assistants and stuff?
I have an aide.
Okay.
I do. I have an aide. And she's a retired teacher, so she's great. So she knows I'm going to hurt somebody in a second here.
Who are you going to hurt?
Stop it, Lonnie. All right. Somehow I'm getting blasted with a whole bunch of text messages right now as I'm trying to talk.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Gee, I wonder who that could be.
Yeah.
Well, I just sent Ruel a text too.
Was it the same one, Lonnie, that Rebecca received?
Yeah. Yeah. Did you look at it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's in the middle of my screen.
Kiss my wrinkle.
No, no, you sent that this morning. I don't want to see that again.
But the funny thing is, it could almost not be a stinking wrinkle. It could be something else. I don't know. Like,
make it a happy thing now, Ruel. I mean, come on.
It's a belly button.
Yeah, right. Did he follow up with saying, by the way, that's not mine? Because that's what I got.
Oh, okay.
Gross.
Well, I just didn't want you to think that was my real butthole, Rebecca. Ruel knows it's not mine.
Yeah. Lonnie's butthole has a beard.
and the faint smell of bourbon. Okay.
Nice.
See here. Okay. A lot of caffeine going on here. I'm getting ready for a house full of family. So family and friends that are going to be staying with me. 4 women, 1 house. Let's see how that goes. I don't know.
4 women?
4 women.
2 or 3 toilets?
2.
And only 2 mirrors. Well, I'm just trying to picture all you all trying to get ready at the same time.
Oh, it's okay. We'll handle it. I know.
Lonnie in the toilet.
Lonnie in the toilet. That should be a podcast in itself.
Yeah, it will be. I'm going to help produce it. I'm going to help produce it.
Are ya? Okay.
We've only talked about it for 2 or 3 years, Rebecca.
Yeah, it'll happen.
I bought the HZ Zoom 5000 or something that Ruel told me to. I spent $200 or $300 on it and haven't even bought an SD card for it or nothing.
Did you buy it on Amazon?
I did.
Yeah, and the way it's going to work out is we're probably going to end up Zooming, and he's never going to end up using the device.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my local people, I could use it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's true.
I just got to figure out how to turn it on and hit record and save it in a file and then get it out of that machine and put it in my computer. And
yeah,
there you go.
And I already got my music, Ruel. I got my little jingle that.
All right. Yeah.
What, your commercial jingle?
Yeah, my commercial jingle. I own it. I can put it anywhere I want to put it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, you're talking about the jingle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not my cock. I am married, Rebecca.
Well, you never know. Your thoughts. You can have thoughts.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's where we're going.
I am on a diet. So you going to put any of this banter on the podcast, Ruel?
Oh, absolutely.
God, I hope not.
I don't know.
Teach me.
Teach
me how to
what?
go run something. I need to know how to run something,
I know how to run a business. You have more money in your bank than you write checks for.
No, I already failed.
Right, Rue?
Was that?
He's not even listening.
No,
like
Lonnie, I turned to Lonnie for business related stuff because I have no idea about business.
Okay.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I only know my business.
Yeah. We're all learning about your business, though, too.
Yeah.
So, Lonnie, we need to talk
about
my
business. What's that?
I was thinking we needed to talk about like how you wanted your podcast to flow, and wondering if we could have Rebecca on and she can talk about her toilets, and then you can like help her out with her toilets.
My toilet? What's wrong with my toilet?
I don't know.
I do remember FaceTiming with you sometime back, Rebecca, about you had something. Was it water seeping out of your toilet or?
No, it was a termite.
Oh yeah, the mud tube thingy.
Yeah, there were termites and coming out of the base of my toilet, which is weird because let's see, cement slab and tile. So there's no wood. I do know that they do put a little wood down in there though, so when they're putting the toilet into the foundation, so I guess, or the piping and everything for it. So I guess that's where they decided to go. Yeah. So that was an odd place to find termites.
Yeah. So you get your shit done, Rebecca, before you get a house load of people?
Oh yeah. I'm stopping to eat brunch. It's 10:30 now. So.
Oh, just an hour away. Okay.
Yeah. We're all in an hour. He's an hour later than me, and I'm an hour later than you.
Yeah, I'm 11:26.
Mm-hmm.
And Ruel's 9:26.
Yeah. Hey, Lonnie, how's your world?
Which regard? We're the same, man. We're adults. Everything stays the same. We just jump on the hamster wheel when we wake up and jump off when it's bedtime. I'm working on a job down at the Lake of the Ozarks. Submitted a mold bid. I got to work on another mold bid here real soon. And yeah.
How far do you usually go to a job? I mean, what's the average distance that you got to commute?
Typically for water damage, it's mainly right here in my backyard. I'll go anywhere. I'm a whore. If you'll pay me to, drive 3 hours one way to go dry you out, then I'll go that far. But carpet cleans mainly like Jeff City within a 15-mile radius. Dead animals, I've gone as far as an hour away. Usually it's in Columbia. And mold is so labor intensive that I pretty much stick to Jeff City. I've done a few in Columbia, which is 30 miles north. But I start pricing myself out really fast if I'm charging for all my hours of driving back and forth to Columbia. So you got an hour round trip. You gotta account for it somehow.
Any good dead stories recently?
Man, not for a while. The last one I did was very, very sad, but I still charged her $175 for nothing. But she was really, really kind of poor and really has nobody to talk to, and she just kept talking and talking and talking, and it was really sad. But I mean, I told her up front what my charge was. I told her what my hourly rate is. I told her all the facts, and I even told her up front, like I always do, that I don't promise for a few $100 to find the dead animal. I mean, if you have an open checkbook, I will find the dead animal, but most people want it, discreet. They don't want to have a big hole cut in their wall and that sort of thing. And
he'll definitely be able to find somebody to come to your house in Arizona to clean your carpets for you.
Yeah, I even helped Serena with when they were having the raccoon thing, and her car was stinking. I found somebody to get rid of the stink in the car.
Nice.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Itchy and Scratchy or something they were naming it.
I remember that.
Yeah, but Joel didn't show you his Devastator, and I was devastated that he didn't do that.
He was devastated less.
I know.
He didn't bring it.
Disappointed.
I know. But hey, we got to FaceTime after he cleaned my carpets and my shelves.
Yeah, I sent her to a friend of mine in Arizona, and he hosed down her books for her.
And the cameras.
Yeah, that was the last time I sent him the lead.
What was the damage, or what was the?
It was okay. We got it dried up really fast.
Oh, just water damage.
Yeah,
his hose. It
went spraying everywhere, and he didn't notice it, and it was spraying onto my bookshelves that had all these signed copies of everything.
Oh no.
And antique cameras.
Oh no.
Ooh. But we quickly dried everything, and there was only a couple little books that had little water damage. Most of them were fine. So, yeah. But it was kind of funny. He felt so bad about it. And I remained calm. Accidents happen. I get it.
Wait, so Lonnie had a friend over to help do some work, and he ended up accidentally spraying your shelves with water?
Uh-huh. Well, he was cleaning my carpets, and he did a great job. I got to say that. He did a great job. My tile and carpet looked wonderful. So, yeah.
And her books do too now.
The the cameras are just spotless.
Your signed copy of Fitness Confidential and Eat Happy got all water damaged.
I didn't get my Eat Happy signed. I didn't bring it with me because when I went to KC, I just had one backpack with me. That was it. So I didn't have room for anything else. I'll get it signed at some point. I'll see Anna someday again, I'm sure. And then
I still have a generically signed book if you want me to mail it to you.
Oh, Eat Happy?
Yeah. It just says something, here's the Eating Happy or Hope You Eat Happy or something, Anna Vicino.
No. Oh, I forgot I didn't move it over there. I actually have a case with my specially signed books. So those are covered. So water's not going to get in there. Kind of.
You know what I did for Christmas for a customer, Ruel? I might have told you this. I asked Anna to send a signed copy written in Greek to a Greek customer of mine. And she was happy to do it, but boy, the Greek language is very squiggly, and there are things in that language that I have never seen. I don't even know how to replicate it. So Anna ended up just copying it, printing it up, cutting it, taping it in, and then she wrote a real thing. And my Greek thing was like, happy birthday from Lonnie Merry Christmas from Lonnie and something. I don't know what I said, but something cheesy, sentimental, and printed it out in Greek because she tried to write it and trace it and everything else, and it just was not working.
Wow. I didn't know that.
No, that was clever.
Did anything look like a stinking wrinkle?
Oh, geez. No comment. Where did I put my coffee now? Oh, there it is. Never mind. Brain gone.
Okay. You get all our attention, but then,
declarative. I know. Well, because I had to find the coffee again. See, you got to keep the brain going. If you don't have the coffee, you don't have the brain going. Hey, Ruel. So, have you heard about our NSMG singles group?
I have. I have kept out of it.
It's going really well. Yeah, you guys are all banned and blocked everywhere.
Yeah, but Trey met his future wife there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I can only imagine what goes on in that place.
There was lots of excitement yesterday, but we won't go there. And we had a Google Hangout, and that was really fun. And I sounded more like an NSMG spokesperson. There were a couple of new people to NSMG in there, so they were asking lots of questions, and it was interesting. And,
wow, that's great.
So, yeah, one of them, one of the guys, he's been NSMG for a while and stuff, but he does 50 milers. So I said, you need to go talk to Ruel too. You guys can trade war stories a little bit over there. And
yeah, that is the 50-mile distance is something that still eluded me, and I've been thinking about doing this year. I just need to find the right thing.
You've been busy.
Yeah.
Lots of family.
How's your wife doing?
She's good. You're talking about like health-wise?
Health?
Yeah, I don't know what you want me to say in front of Rebecca, but everything okay there?
Oh yeah. Well, I can talk about it a little. She's I guess it's been almost 2 years. She's been dealing with some autoimmune stuff. So that what that meant was just taking a lot of what has been learned through the NSNG community and all the other things that come along with it, like learning more about paying attention to food and the importance of healthy fats and all that good stuff, and had her her diagnosis put her on a sort of a fast track of elimination and eating whole foods and whatnot, and quickly turned that around and quickly got her off of the medication. And so she's now in a state of sort of monitoring that, and she is completely off the medication, but there are other things that have been going on. So she's been seeing a couple of functional medicine doctors. She saw one regarding the thyroid, and now she's seeing another one who's trying to help her out with sleep and whatnot. It's actually a functional doc that Anna had recommended. So the cool thing with these
Mercurio or Marcinio or
no, some Alexander. And the cool thing with these docs is you can get access to them and, just get over the phone or use Skype if you need to. And, they'll make orders for testing, and you can go to any remote lab. You don't have to go into their office and smell their alcohol, their rubbing alcohol in there and latex. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody in the NSNG group was asking about A1C numbers being 5.1 or something, and I don't know why. I made a comment kind of like this, but you would think with the pharmaceutical companies wanting to push pills on everybody like they do, that they would lower the A1C number from 6.5 to 5.5 for the diabetic diagnosis, but I don't know why they haven't, because they want every diabetic on statins and metformin and all these pills, and it's like, why don't they lower it down and get open people's eyes that, like, yeah, you're not that good at 5.8. You're really a diabetic, but they say, oh, you're pre-diabetic, and then send them out the door. Don't tell them what that really means, or give them any guidance. It's like, oh, you're pre-diabetic. Watch what you eat. See you later.
Yeah. Well, she's doing better though with the NSNG. Though it's helping out with her autoimmune.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's doing much better, and she's even much better. She used to enjoy like a Starbucks hot chocolate, and now when she, we've all experienced, if we eliminated the crap and then happened to accidentally taste the crap, we're like, whoa, I can't believe I used to eat that stuff.
Yeah.
So she's learned a lot, and she's doing much better now.
That's what I always recommend it whenever I hear people with autoimmune, because I was being misdiagnosed over and over again with different autoimmune diseases, and we finally found out what all of it was. And when you're taking the same medications as your 80-year-old grandmother, it's kind of like, okay, something's got to give. This is not right. You're just ingrained in, oh, well, they gave me pills for that, and that's how I'm going to live. I'm just going to get my prescriptions and take my drugs. And never imagine that just changing the way you ate, you wouldn't have to take any of those drugs anymore, and you just feel normal again. So,
what was the autoimmune issue for you?
Well, in the beginning, they had said that I had Sjogren's syndrome, which is, I said, I'm not exhibiting any of the symptoms of that, so that's really odd. And then went to a rheumatologist, and we did further work, and they ruled that out and said, well, you have arthritis and you have psoriasis. And so it was just kind of double at the same time. So they just gave me a whole bunch of medications for my arthritis, basically painkillers and anti-inflammatories, which paid a fortune for. And then the psoriasis, gave you creams for that. And then after that, I take out all the grains and the sugars, and no more flare-ups, no more pain. I didn't even notice it. All of a sudden, I just said, what would happen if I just stopped taking my medications? And not that I'm saying that, but these were painkillers and anti-inflammatories. They weren't life support. But I just decided one day, okay, well, let's go a day and see how I do without taking anything. And I didn't need anything anymore, but I kept taking it because I was told to take it. And no more pain. I feel younger in my mid-40s than I did in my 30s and late 20s. So, of course, losing weight helped with that too. You lose a person, you have less stress on your joints and your bones and stuff. So, yeah, that helps too. But really, I was still the same weight at that time and started losing, but the pain went away, and I got out of bed every morning and felt fine. It was nice. So yeah, it changes everything. And I always push people, if they're having that, just at least look into it. Just read, a little bit. I'll give you the PDF, read it. And if you have more questions, ask me. And if not, then good luck.
Yeah. The family took a trip last weekend to meet up with some friends who were practically like family. And, their daughter has, it's kind of hard and weird to hear myself say it, but her daughter has some form of cancer. And so far it's isolated. Yeah. It presented itself with a tumor on a leg. So she's
gone through, that's been removed, gone through testing. They're waiting for a PET scan. And so, I couldn't not share information that, we're aware of, things like how you can, try to starve cancer because cancer, feeds off of sugar and whatnot. So I took some information that I learned listening to folks like Dominic, other folks, in this thing, and tried to focus on, information regarding starving cancer. And then when you do that, you can't avoid talking about, being in a ketogenic diet. You can't avoid, basically NSNG. So it was a lot of me talking to our friends, the parents about it. And it's one of those things where did I say too much and it turned them off, or did I say enough to make them curious? And I try to reiterate how I feel about it by saying, if anybody in my family were to have a diagnosis of cancer, I'd double down, triple down, whatever, on hitting a ketogenic diet hard and fast. So it scares me because I've, a while ago, my wife's niece had lost her daughter to leukemia, and it was just so far that her condition was so far deep that even me mentioning being on a ketogenic diet, I think it was just too late. And I tried. You were saying?
Well, oh no, I was just, it goes along with, well, we're just going to follow what the doctors say. That's it. They tell us what to do. So,
Yeah. And that's why, being a mold sucker that I am, I don't talk about this with nobody.
Yeah.
It's weird because there are days, I remember early on, I think maybe we all were sort of like, we wanted to climb the highest mountain and tell everybody this is what, can benefit them. And then you sort of have to let it go over time, and you don't talk about it. But then every now and then it things get to me, and I kind of lose it. Like, what don't you understand? If you're having problems with your blood sugar, just stop eating sugar. How is that hard to understand? Come on,
Well, there's not a pill for that.
Right.
Changing your food.
And in my office, I'll eat a big fat burger, right? Two patties and cheese and bacon and avocado, and they don't see it as healthy. They see it as, I wouldn't dare eat that. I'm not brave enough to eat that and the only reason why I'm able to eat it is because I'm an ultra runner. No wonder why I can afford to eat. I'd eat this even if I didn't run, but. It's funny what people view as the type of food that they should keep away from, and what they subject themselves and fool themselves to want to eat. I joked with some folks about, really? Do you really enjoy eating those leaves? Really? And I can tell people like, I'm going to be good today. I'm just going to have a salad because at some point in the previous weekend, I was pretty bad. So I'm going to be good this week and I'm just going to eat salad. Really?
Oh, that drives me nuts in the group whenever I hear somebody say, I ate like shit all weekend. Should I fast? Like, stop. Just stop.
But you can't really fast successfully if you're not eating to make yourself full. You're just going to starve.
Yeah. And it was one of those moments where I kind of lost it and I was kind of insane. And ordinarily I'm pretty quiet in the office, but then when it comes to this sort of topic, I lose shit. And I'm talking about how you don't want to eat those, and you make it bearable by sticking with a bunch of sugary sauce.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you wonder why in a couple hours you're looking for snacks.
Oh, come on. You can have those leaves piled on with, let's see, olive oil and avocado and bacon and eggs. There's the fun right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'll do a couple of things. I'll come in with a big fat juicy burger and let the aroma out of the office. Or I'll go to this other place and get a bunch of like some grilled meats like beef and beef ribs and chicken, and I'll let that sort of reek in a wonderful way in the office. Because you can tell when people like innately they're starving for that stuff, right? But then but there's this disconnect with their thinking. This has been fun. We kind of got into some good stuff towards the end. I'll try to figure out how we can do this as a podcast.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. Your free meeting will end in 10 minutes. Please upgrade to a paid account. Oh, okay. Okay, guys. I'm back. So I want to talk a little bit about running. And as I said, I'm going to dedicate a separate episode on the last event that I did. But I'm now at a point where I feel pretty good. I'm recovered enough to start getting back to some activity. My feet are still pretty beat up. Not like destroyed beat up, just sore. I was on my feet on a train the other day, and my feet were just, still kind of tender. Although that might have been a result of barefoot jump roping on a concrete. You think? But aside from that, I am ready to, spend some time running. So that's what I hope to do today. And I'm pretty excited. I am definitely on this quest to make myself as flexible as I previously was, and if not as flexible, even more flexible. I've been spending my time doing the foam roller specifically to help my IT band, and I haven't just been foam rolling on that one side. I've been foam rolling both legs, nice, pretty good, and I'm building up a pretty good routine as to how to foam roll, or how I foam roll. And after I'm done, I'm spending time with my stretches, and it's it's trying to get as full range of motion on my legs and my hips that I used to, and working my way back to the full splits, and I'm getting there, and I'm curious to find out what that is going to mean as far as my ability to run injury free. So pretty excited. I'm going to try to spend an hour out on a run today, and I'm pretty excited about doing longer runs on the weekend, just to test myself out. And I've been hunting for other events to sign up for. I have one already in mind. From at the start of the year, I identified 3 that I want to get into. I've just completed 1 of the 3, but and they're all 50K events that I was looking for. But now I'm starting to think about things like, what if I get myself into a 12-hour event, or what if I sign up for a 50? So it's sort of trying to find those, and there are a lot out there. Just find one that I'd be interested in doing. Yeah. So that's my running, and I don't want to get too deep into running on a running podcast. Health-wise, I'm pretty good. I've been pretty clean, and it feels great. After the run, I did drop 4 pounds, which is not a lot, in terms of, having spent the whole day doing, out on the trail. The 4 pounds was lost, and I put back 2 of those 2 pounds really easy. I think a lot of it is just like water or something. It's amazing the amount of liquid that I consume during the event, and I only had to take a leak once. So somewhere it's all in the mix on my body composition, and
to get me going through. But yeah, I was like, what? Where'd all that liquid go? Anyways, back to health. Feeling good. Trying to build strength. I've also gotten back to my rope routines and my jump rope, my Buddy Lee jump rope, and throwing in other drills that I used to do on martial arts. And speaking of martial arts, a few days ago I changed some tires on the vehicle, and I told the guy that I was changing the tires, save me one. I need to keep one of the old tires. I need it for exercise equipment. And I thought about keeping both, but I think one is enough. If I need another one, I'll get another one. So I took the tire home and I hung it. The kids have this, I can't remember the name. It's a hard plastic play structure where it's supposed to be like it looks like a clubhouse with slides shooting off on two sides, but it's got a wheel, so it's supposed to be make believe like it's a pirate ship, and so it's got a sort of a triangle frame, and it's open on the top, so the kids can stand in it. But there's little points on each of the sides, and I took the tire and just hung it over the pointed end of that thing, so I have this tire jutting off, kind of hanging off the side of this play structure. And the whole original thought of having the tires so that I have something to smack on with my rattan sticks, my Eskrima sticks, and so I got to test that out. So in addition to building up my lightness on my feet, building up some strength and endurance on the jump rope, building up some flexibility with my stretches, and building up just some general body weight strength doing drills that I used to do in martial arts. I'm working the sticks, working the weapons, and that's good for just nothing to do with running, just hand-eye coordination and wrist and hand and arm strength, and it's a whole different activity. But I didn't realize that because I've never used a tire as a dummy before for attacking with the sticks, and it's pretty loud. But who cares? And it's something that the tire is something that I wanted to have available because I want my kids to start beating the shit out of that tire to work on their skills, train them up, and then have them do some target practice, doing some basic angles on tire, and I believe it'll be good. It will be good. And then the tire will also serve multiple purposes. The other would be, if I position it lower, I'd be able to kick the crap out of it, work on my shins. Haven't worked on my shins for a while, but a tire would be a good thing to bang on, since I don't want to bang on trees. And the other purpose could be, I could set up a tire pull so that I can work on my strength as a runner, and I could drag that tire around the neighborhood. That would be a fun sight to see. I just need to get the right harness and whatnot to. I might be able to buy a kit online. I haven't Googled to see whether or not there's something that you can buy, but I could easily make one. And I have a workout belt that I could sacrifice for it, and all I need is maybe some hardware and some cable or some sort of line, and I'll be able to do tire pulls. So that's that. I know I was supposed to be talking about health, but that's health. Well-rounded, keeping my diet as clean as possible and being more active than I used to be, and revisiting some workouts and some activities that I used to, and feeling good about it. That whole last trail run that I did definitely worked my mind to a point that there's this whole mental thing that I'm going to end up talking about on the race episode. But there was something happened, and something sort of, I don't know if you want to say clicked in my mind, and so I don't know how to describe it, but it's something that I want to sort of capitalize on, build on, to make myself better. I guess a better athlete and a better person and a father and husband. So yeah, that's health. Family wise, things are good. The kids are getting older, getting bigger, getting more independent. If you can call a 4 and a 7 and a 9-year-old independent, but as a family, we're growing and we're just evolving. Recently, we had the kids stay home and watched by a couple of friends, basically babysitters, if you will. Gave my wife and I the opportunity to spend time out, and it was probably the second time ever that we've been able to do that. Now that the kids are old enough and that we have friendships and relationships, and for folks who can take the kids, if that even makes sense. Folks who are like teachers and educators themselves, who know the kids and we're comfortable with them. We've known them for years. We ask them for the favor. They agree. We cook them a hearty meal, and at the same time, plan to pay them for their time. And they're so generous with their time that they do it out of the kindness of their heart, and they want to they put themselves out there for whenever the next time is. They're happy to do so. So truly blessed to have people in our lives that can do that and allow my wife and I the time to spend out doing things that make us happy, and it also gives the kids the opportunity to spend time away from mom and dad, and have a lot of fun. And it is a lot of fun for them. They get to do like full-on Nerf wars in the house, bullets flying everywhere, people getting shot in the eye and in the booty. And so what did my wife and I do? My wife and I, we went to, and this has nothing to do with our diet. It was more of an activity. We went to a sort of a chocolatier workshop where we learned from, somebody who's been a chocolatier for a long time, get to know about the history and the ins and outs of some good chocolate. Attended the workshop. It allowed us or the whole class to work with chocolate and make candy, like coating like caramel and nougat and coconut and all that good stuff, and how it's accomplished. And we're able to walk away with a set of candy that we made ourselves. They supplied all the chocolate. They supplied basically a whole kit, a whole component on a tray in their factory, and we got to with the whole hairnet and gloves and apron and everything, and and the right temperature surfaces and chocolate and equipment to dip and coat stuff. And it was a great time. Unlike a lot of folks, I don't crave this stuff. People were starting to nibble on some stuff and while they were working, which wasn't really encouraged, but people were sneaking bites of chocolate, and that's not my thing. What I did have was, at the end of it, there's a sort of a gift shop, and samples are there. They have all of their house-made chocolates, varying percentages of cocoa. I opted for their highest percentage. The highest that I saw was 70-something%. I like the 80-some%. But I had a little small morsel of a taste, and it was nice. And then they also have, one of their products is they have roasted cocoa beans. And that's one of the things they teach in the workshop is, here's the bean, here's where it's roasted, and this is how you break it up, and here's the skin that you don't want to eat because it tastes nasty. It's not edible. But you do want to eat, what's inside. And that roasted cocoa bean without the shell, I could snack on it. I love this stuff. But I just had one to taste, so I know what it was all about. Folks feel that it tastes like what they imagine eating coffee beans would be like. But hey, I love coffee, and I love the taste of the roasted cocoa bean. I didn't buy anything because I didn't, it was more of an experience thing, time spent with my wife, and yeah, that was that. And then all of the chocolates, both my wife and I walked away with a little tray of the candies that we made, and it's quality chocolate. And it's really I'm really impressed, and I really enjoy the workshop, and I'd do it again. And it's not cheap to do. My wife found it on a Groupon, so we got it on a deal. It's pretty much 2 for 1 at that point. Took all the treats to the office on the following workday for the coworkers to enjoy. There's a lot of folks who really enjoy chocolate. And one of the interesting things at the workshop we learned was that if you ever get chocolate that just doesn't taste or smell right, it's because it's not as pure as it can be. Meaning, whatever process they use to extract the roasted cocoa bean from the things, there's still a little bit of the shell, which is the inedible part, and doesn't taste good. It sort of gets into the mix. So there was a whole tasting part of the workshop where you tasted the varying chocolates that they have for different percentages of cocoa content, and then they also had a sample of the sort of commercial chocolate. And I didn't try it. I didn't do any of the tasting, but everyone else around did, and they could definitely taste it as they progressed through. This was called Rachel Dunn chocolates. Rachel Dunn is the founder, and her husband did the workshop, did the presentation. In the workshop, you got to taste varying degrees of their chocolates, their percentages, and then at the end they gave you a morsel of commercial chocolate. So you were basically set up to taste. Oh, that's really good chocolate. Oh, that's really good. That's good. And it got darker and darker. Then they dropped you the conventional chocolate, the commercial chocolate, and everyone's like, ew, ew, not good. That's not good. So I think the downside, if you're into chocolate, the downside is if you really, really pay attention and good chocolate and you do something like this, it's just going to ruin your experience as far as enjoying other chocolates. But yeah, I like my chocolate once in a while, not a whole lot. I generally stay away from chocolate. But if I do have it, it's going to be, a high cocoa reduced amount of sugar content. The day after Valentine's Day, it was Valentine's Day. I picked up a bar of 80-something% at a Godiva. And I don't have it that often, but I was like feeling in the mood of the whole Valentine's thing. I picked up some chocolate covered strawberries for my wife. Valentine's Day is like the worst, right? It's they jack up the prices so much, and you're basically gonna buy a box of like 6 strawberries for almost like $45. It's crazy. I'm not going to do that. But, fortunately able to buy a couple without having to buy the whole kit. My wife doesn't need 6 strawberries. She was happy with just 1. I bought her 2. And after buying them, these strawberries are like dinosaur strawberries. They're like massive. Massive. But yeah, I picked up this bar. I figured might as well try something for myself. I scanned through their racks and their shelves of stuff that was like the highest percentage. I found I think it was an 86%, and made sure that the ingredients were decent, and there was none of this processed with alkali or the Dutch process garbage. And I picked up a bar and I ate a square at a time. And I was like, I might as well just eat this whole damn bar, and it was so good. And but that's rare. That's like maybe once every 2 years or something kind of thing. Not a fan of chocolate, which is weird. That's that. So the family's good. Everyone's healthy, and everyone's in good spirits. And I'm going to owe you guys another episode soon. Talk about the race. And with that, signing off. Thanks, friends, for tuning in. I really appreciate your spending the time. And if you have something for me, something to say, something to share, hit me up. 650-MUG-RUEL. That should do the job. And don't forget, hug your friends, hug your family, eat something delicious, and go run something. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Ruel's Running Podcast with Ruel. If you like what you just heard, share it with your friends and your enemies. Also, be sure to check out the site over at ruelsrunning.com. This has been another Coffee with Heavy Cream production. Join us next time for another silly show of Ruel's Running Podcast.
G'day, Ruel. It's Mark here. Hey, look, I really enjoy your podcast. It's fantastic. I look forward every week it comes out. But, dude, I was away for half an hour. I might have been asleep. I can't quite remember. But I find out that all my admin friends are hanging out together in a Zoom conference. And here's me hanging out to dry. It's like I'm Billy No Mates. Goodness me, what's this? And then I find out there's a conversation. But, hey, Lonnie got hold of me and said that he wanted me to be involved in a conversation. But I was driving, so I couldn't answer the phone. Never mind. Hey, look, anyway, I look forward to your happy, lovely show based on the Zoom meeting that you had and hearing all my friends, except for me, because I'm maybe Billy No Mates. And, yeah, okay. Have a good day. Bye.